What's up, Taiwan? Good evening. I'm Leslie Liao with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. A proposal to lower the voting age in Taiwan has advanced in the legislature. It's a measure that has support from several political parties. The change would allow citizens to vote in elections starting at the age of 18, down from the current 20. The measure still needs across-the-aisle support in order to pass the legislature. Now, because this is a constitutional amendment, there are a couple more hurdles before it can go into effect. It has to pass a public referendum and it needs presidential approval. DPP legislator Zhou Chunmi is one of the people who proposed the amendment. She says young people are ready to vote.
我想，随着网络的科技、资讯传播的发展，年轻世代对于政治的关注度日渐提升，同时也具有足够的成熟跟媒体的识读、议题讨论的能力。所以呢，有些朋友、有些同学在学生时期他就投入了公众的事务、公共的事务。那我想，投票是作为最能够直接参与政治的方式。现在我国20岁选举权的年龄规定，已经实质地限制了年轻世代的政治参与。
New measures are being put in place to stop the spread of COVID-19 in northern Taiwan, with 17 new domestic cases reported on Tuesday. More people are now working from home, a factory has suspended production, and junior and senior high schools in Hualien are beginning their Lunar New Year holidays early. Sandy Chi has the story.
Streets in Hualien, northern Taiwan, are being disinfected as the number of COVID cases is on the rise. Classes in some schools have been suspended and a factory has closed due to local transmission. Contract laptop maker Compal Electronics has closed the factory in Hualien City for disinfection for a week. 1,500 of its workers are being tested for COVID after several were confirmed to be infected. Compal said the temporary shutdown would not significantly affect its business, with plants in China and Vietnam filling in the production gap. Most local cases in Taiwan have been linked to a Hualien airport cluster earlier in January. Over 90 patients have been reported so far, and over a third of them infected with the Omicron variant. As the virus breaches the community, several financial companies, electronics companies, and telecoms have stepped up prevention measures, allowing some employees to work from home, while front office staff are working in staggered shifts. Elsewhere in Taiwan, more local cases have been reported, putting the government on high alert for the upcoming college entrance exam. The examination will be conducted under strict prevention measures. It is mandatory for all examinees to wear masks and take temperature checks. No companions are allowed to the test site. As for students in quarantine, the government has put together another plan.
每一个分区学校都准备发烧市场跟备用市场，发现有这种情形的话，就是到这些市场来应试。居家隔离跟居家检疫，这个我们都会跟地方卫生单位进行勾稽，一律到我们另外设的隔离市场。
To date, Taiwan has confirmed more than 17,000 COVID-19 cases since the pandemic began in early 2020, which includes more than 14,500 domestically transmitted infections. Authorities are working to make sure the number doesn't rise much further. Alex Chen and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Military officials continue their search for answers as to why a newly refurbished F-16V fighter jet crashed off the west coast of Taiwan last week. With the discovery of the aircraft's black box, a device used to record and store flight data, authorities expect to have answers in the next few days. Jaime Okan reports.
Taiwan is starting to pick up the pieces of what was supposed to be a routine exercise turned into tragedy. On Monday, the military recovered the black box of a retrofitted F-16V fighter jet that crashed into the Taiwan Strait during an artillery exercise a week ago. The black box recorded data from the flight, which investigators hope will clarify the cause of the incident. There have been local reports of toxic gas possibly leaking into the cockpit a day before the exercise.
它是需要具有非常大的一个喷射动力的，所以才采取联氨这样的一个气体。OK， 严格讲，它在一般我们做法是液体啦。OK 啊，那在燃烧的时候，它产生大量废气，然后去喷射这样。
Human remains discovered on Friday were confirmed to belong to the pilot, Chen Yi, who officials say died from shock caused by trauma. Experts are urging the public not to make assumptions until more information is known.
光头 片或是说照片影片来判断说，飞机内部有什么故障灯亮起来，这个我觉得就是太过于妄断。
But what is certain is that Taiwan isn't taking any chances with its newest and most advanced aircraft. Since the incident, all F-16Vs, the fighter jet commonly used to monitor Chinese incursions, have been grounded for inspection. With over 141 F-16s to be retrofitted into F-16Vs, Taiwan wants to be sure that it safely upgrades its fleet, which is now down by 1. Chris Ma and Jaime Okan for TaiwanPlus.
January 19th in Taiwan is Firefighters Day, named after the country's emergency services number 119. Fire stations in the East Coast counties of Yilan and Hualien held open house events on Monday. Members of the public got to see a Black Hawk helicopter and a fire truck's elevated platform in action. Firefighters showed off their uniforms and equipment and shared advice on how to stay safe in the event of a fire. To China now, the general public will not be allowed to watch next month's Beijing Winter Olympics in person. The organizing committee says that's to ensure the safety of participants and spectators during the pandemic. Only selected spectators will be allowed to attend. China has strict measures in place as it pursues a zero-tolerance approach to COVID-19. Beijing previously announced that no fans from outside China would be allowed into the Games. Thousands of people wanted by the Chinese government have been forced back to the country through non-judicial means in recent years. Now that's according to a new report. The research by human rights organization Safeguard Defenders is titled Involuntary Returns. It details how kidnapping, intimidation, and threats against family have been used to bring back fugitives. It states that the majority of the thousands of people repatriated under the Communist Party's anti-corruption initiatives have been involuntary returns. The report also says that under Xi Jinping's rule, there has been a 700% jump in those seeking asylum abroad. We now take you to rural Hualien in eastern Taiwan, where one man's conversion of an old building is transforming a whole community. Wei Zhonglu has this story.
On most days, people in this small Hualien community on Taiwan's east coast can be found gathering at this old house. It was converted into a space for learning in 2017. By a baseball fan from the Southwest, who first moved here to promote the sport.
7、8年前的时候来这边成立棒球队，因为其实在偏乡的话，当然书店也少，艺文活动也少，然后当然就是我们可以把孩子的课服的部分，然后也一起在书店这边一起可以做。
Etude was born from Huan Wei's initial interactions with local children. He wanted to give them better access to educational resources. The books are donations from across Taiwan, and children now drop in after school to study.
现在人越来越多，然后所以我们就到周边，我又租了另外一个空间，然后成为食堂，所以我们也会在食堂跟书店两边客服。
It's not only the children who visit, but also other locals and tourists. Aside from expansion plans, Hu has more activities lined up for the community.
1到5的时候，然后我们会带小朋友去跑步，小孩，然后很有精神活力。大人也会看到说，小朋友也在努力，在完成他自己的目标。
This unique learning space has become a turning point for Hu and his neighborhood, recharging the community with renewed vitality and hope. Maggie May, Wei Zhonglu for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Leslie Liao. Now we're going to leave you with pictures of sea turtles that were rescued from plastic waste and now returned to the wild in Argentina. Less plastic, more turtles. Gotta love that. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. See you next time and take care.